In the previous lessons, I showed you how you can create several types of holes in solid objects. In this lesson, I will show you how you can add threads to those holes. In the open document, I have already created a solid object and I also have placed several holes on it. Now I want to add a thread to the hole that can be seen at the back of the object. I can create a thread if I expand the Hole Wizard options and select the Thread option. Once I activate the Thread tool, a message appears informing me that the thread tool type and size profiles are nominal thread profiles only, and it is not recommended to use them for production quality threads. If I need to create production quality threads, I have to modify those profiles to meet my requirements. If you don't want this message to appear again, you can activate the Don't Show This Again option. At the moment, I will ignore this message and I will simply click OK. Once I do, the Property Manager palette activates and I am ready to place the thread. So I will orbit the view and zoom in as much as I need to see the hole clearly. With the Edge of Cylinder field active, I will select the internal edge of the cylinder. I can also activate the Offset option and type a value in the Offset field right below. In this way, the thread won't start at the edge of the cylinder. It will start at the distance I have specified in the Offset field. However, I will deactivate this field now. At this point, I should mention that I can also specify an angle. The Offset and Angle options are optional. Something that is really important to specify is the end condition. So I will expand the end condition list to see the available options. From those options, I will select the blind option and I will specify the depth of the hole in the depth field that appears right below. In this example, I will set the depth to 5 mm. Notice that the thread goes 5 mm deep. Now if I change the value in the depth field to 15, notice that the preview changes accordingly. I will expand the list again, and this time I will select the Revolutions option. With this option, I can specify the number of turns in the Revolutions field that appears right below. In this example, I will type the number 1 and I will press Enter. Then I will change this value to 20 and notice the difference in the preview. The last option of this list is the Up to Selection option. Once I select this option, the End Location field activates and I have to select an edge or a point to specify the depth of the thread. So I will orbit the view a little and I will click on the other edge of the hole. I can also activate the Offset option and type a value in the Offset field right below. Now that I have already specified the depth of the thread, I have to select its type. I will expand the type list, which can be found in the specification area of settings, and I will select the metric die type. Then I will select the size of the thread. In this example, I will expand the list and I will select the size M10 by 1.5. This means that the thread profile is 10 mm and its pitch is 1.5 mm. Now I want you to notice that the diameter field is inactive because the diameter of the thread is specified by the size I selected from the list. Same goes for the pitch field. If I click on the Override Diameter icon, the diameter field activates and I can change the diameter of the thread. However, this may not have the desired result. In the same way, I can change the pitch of the thread if I click on the Override Pitch icon. However, in this example, I want to change the default values and I will move on to the Thread Method options. If I activate the Cut Thread option, then the material of the thread will be removed from the solid. On the contrary, if I select the Extrude Thread option, then the material of the thread is added to the solid object. If you select the Cut Thread option, then the profile of the thread must intersect with a solid object in order to be removed. For this reason, you may need to activate the Mirror Profile option and select either mirror horizontally or vertically to achieve the desired result. In this case, I will select the Mirror Horizontally option and notice how the preview changes. From the thread options, I can also specify the direction of the revolution. With the right-hand thread option, the direction will be clockwise, while with the left-hand thread option, the direction will be counterclockwise. In this example, I will select the right-hand thread option. Now I will activate the Trim with Start Face and the Trim with End Face options, so the thread profile won't extend beyond the trimming face. Last but not least, from the Preview options, I can change how the preview of the thread will appear. If I select the Shaded Preview, then a fully tessellated preview of the thread will be displayed. If I select the Wireframe Preview, then a wireframe preview of the thread will be displayed, while the Partial Preview adjusts the number of wires displayed in the wireframe. At this point, I should mention that if I want to use this thread with these settings again in future projects, I can add this type to favorites. I will go to the upper part of the Property Manager palette and I will click on the Add or Update a Favorite icon. Then I will type the phrase M10 by 1.5 in the name field and I will click OK. Now I can select this specific thread with these specific settings if I expand this list and select it. In addition, I can save the thread with these specific settings if I click on the Save Favorite icon. At the moment, I won't save this type, so I will click Cancel and I will simply mention that if I have saved a thread with specific settings in a folder of my computer, I can load this thread profile if I click on the Load Favorite icon. I can even delete a favorite I have created if I click on the Delete Favorite icon. To restore the default settings for this specific thread profile, all I have to do is click on the Apply Defaults or No Favorite icon. At this point, I will click on the checkmark to create the thread. Now, to show you the result even more clearly, I will click on the Section View icon to create a section on the right plane. Once I do, I will click on the checkmark and notice how clearly the thread profile is now. So this was how you can create threads in Solidworks. I suggest that you create your own holes and then you add threads to them to create your own solid objects.